So, welcome to our first Monday night coach call. This is the first time we are combining, it's been a long time, our Coaches Out for Change with the Dream Team. So, a lot of you guys are on the Monday night calls. I know some of you are joining less frequently, but here with us now. So, Meg, you want to say a little welcome?
Yeah, I'm just excited. I think tonight is going to be great. And I'm just excited about the synergy of everybody working together and just supporting one another and helping people just on this mission. So I think this is going to be a really great thing.
So somebody had asked if you are, not muted, please mute yourself. What we do at 7:28 is a little inspiration, something to kind of set the tone for the night, usually related to what we're going to talk about. And tonight's is really special. It's a video that went viral about a Chick-fil-A employee. And, you know, Chick-fil-A is known for their client support, right? And that is something we are just focusing on. We know it's the heart of who we are. And so it's going to be really fun. So I'm going to set it up. If you have any trouble with the volume, just turn it up on your side. If you have any trouble seeing it, just come off mute and say, hey, Dee, I can't see it. So give me 1 second.
Hello, welcome everyone. How are you all? Oh, I'm doing great as well.
If you've gone through the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A on Oleander Drive in Wilmington,
The combo with the medium fry.
you probably already know Jeremiah Mural.
Yes, ma'am, and the sandwich has pickles too. Is that okay? That is so awesome. Ooh,
He may just be taking your lunch order,
I'll meet you up ahead.
but it's the way he does it that has caught the attention of thousands. A frequent customer saw Jeremiah working and posted a video on Facebook of him taking her order.
Everyone, you're one step away from an awesome lunch meal. It'll be a pleasure serving you at our drive-thru window after 2 more things. You know what that is. It's a fist bump each. You guys are awesome. 1 and 2. You have an awesome day up ahead. Thank you for choosing Chick-fil-A.
Little did he know, that video would be viewed more than 150,000 times.
Wow. Yes, ma'am, and enjoy.
This 20-year-old Wilmington native started working for the company a few years ago. Regardless if it's hot or cold, rain or shine, Jeremiah spends countless hours outside striving to make your day a little better.
Your actions or your behavior or the way you say something or the way you interact with people, it matters and it transforms the day.
Through a few smiles and kind words,
My pleasure, Miss Bailey. See you later back there.
he hopes the service he provides is a memorable one.
Amazing. Whew. Hello, welcome. How are you? I serve a lot of guests. I try to remember each and every name in drive-thru. That's just a personal thing for me. What was your name again?
Lauren.
Miss Lauren, I thought so. I'll put Lauren here. Oh, Miss Lauren.
While he sees thousands of people a day, Jeremiah treats them all the same.
Be a pleasure serving you there.
Okay, all right, thank you.
My pleasure, Miss Lauren.
Take care. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everyone. That was great.
And those customers take notice.
Do you work here with all your family, right?
Exactly.
I love your family.
Oh, wow.
That's right. Jeremiah's brothers and sisters also work there. Christian, Denise, Joshua, and Angel. He was even honored by the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office.
When they showed me this, I was like, I was just speechless.
Jeremiah dreams of owning his own Chick-fil-A franchise while incorporating ministry and music too.
Seeing these lives transform just by talking with them and taking their orders and being kind and nice and it's awesome. At a drive-thru window, it'll be a pleasure serving you there. My pleasure. Thank you all and enjoy.
That rocking chair would look great.
Oh, hang on. Let me get that off. We can hear about Geico.
Yeah, $2 for the chair.
All right. Pretty special, huh? With listening to that, just really shows somebody you could see. I don't know about you. I felt like I could feel his passion. Like it was authentic. It was genuine. And we're going to be talking about that tonight. Really, how do we connect with other people? And more importantly, what do we say? So before we hop into that, just a couple of quick things. We've got Dallas right around the corner, launched to global. Just wanted to make sure that everybody is aware that registration was open to any executive director. If you've hit it once, you are in and invited. And I was in a special meeting today with Dr. Anderson, Dan Bell, and some of the top leaders about that. And they were just reminded us that the transformation, becoming a leader in Optavia, 99% of it, it's a transformation that happens within us. The business we do is relatively simple. right? But it's within us, the stories we tell ourselves, et cetera, that can get in the way. So the personal development, and especially what's going to be offered at this and other events that we have, is so important. And one quick note on that before we move on is, I just learned this. If you are a regional director, if you have the title of regional director, you are invited to the Wednesday afternoon. You actually qualify based on the ranking system in Optavia. You qualify for the special training on Wednesday afternoon, the FIBIC and above training. So that'll be fun. There is a special ticket for that. So you can follow up with Meg or I for more information on that. Meg, you want to talk about convention for a second? Did you see that they announced the perks for that? You're muted.
Oh, yes. I am so excited about convention coming up, man, in just a couple of months. So there are going to be perks for FIBCs. So there is a party that they do, and last year they brought an 80s band in, and we had a big 80s party, and it was super fun. So you will want to be there for that. And then there's also going to be perks for global directors. And then there will be an IPD concierge lounge as well. So we're adding new perks this year that we have never had before. And I just love that. Optavia is always looking for ways to honor us for the work that we do, which just feels great. Something really excited about.
Yeah, and it dawned on me, we haven't been talking a lot about convention. We were getting all amped up for Dallas, but convention is in July. If you are a newer coach, welcome. And if you haven't attended an Optavia event, that is the event that is all of us are encouraged to attend. And really not only you, but coaches on your team as well. And yes, Elizabeth, we'll get you those dates. It's the end of July and it's here in Atlanta. So how lucky are we? A lot of us live in Atlanta and won't have to fly. But we do a big team party. We do all sorts of stuff. So it's a great way that we connect, and you get to learn and hear from Dr. Anderson, catch the energy, the vision of what's possible. So speaking of the major things that are out there for everyone, we have our client support bonus and a couple of winners, or not winners, earners of that already. And Meg, you were just going to go over some of the details of it.
Yeah. And I want to give a special shout out to, we have at least 3 coach accounts that have earned this so far. So Lauren Yeomans, Shauna and Frank Davis, and Rebecca Gibson. So y'all give it up for them for being the first people that have earned this client support bonus. And we did want to just take a minute and make sure everybody knows what is available to you with this client support bonus. So just wanted to take a minute and show you, it is absolutely incredible. And this goes for 3 months. So it goes for March, April, and May, right? So if you help 3 or 4 new clients or reactivated clients, so somebody who has not ordered in 180 days, you get 3% more on every order for the whole month, which is incredible. You help 5 new clients or newly reactivated clients, and that's a 5% payout. So let's just kind of look at what's possible. And there's some slides we can share with you. But I think this is really powerful because we also have this new coach accelerator bonus, right? This is the time for new coaches. I've never seen such incredible benefits for new coaches before. So if a new coach comes on and they help 3 people, this shows you how much they're earning. If they help 5 people with all of the bonuses going on, they're earning $722. Y'all, I know for us sometimes like that, I don't know, we can get used to earning this extra income, but $700 can really be life-changing for a family. I mean, think about when you first started coaching. I mean, that probably would have made me cry when I first started coaching. Also, there's some hypothetical earnings down here. So let's say somebody added 6 new clients their first month, brand new coach. Then the next month they added 5 new clients. And then the next month they added 5 more new clients. Their total earnings would be over $5,000 for helping 16 people. So again, this is hypothetical, but just wanted you to know what's possible for people because, with inflation and everything that's going on in our economy, this can really help people a lot. You can see for yourself and your team how many or how close you are and your team is by clicking here in client support and going down to see the client support bonus. there is the ordering entities will be shown for you. So that is really exciting, and would just challenge everybody to put in the chat how many new clients or newly reactivated clients they are committed to serving from now until the end of the month, because we want to blow it up and maximize this opportunity.
For sure. I wanted to start with I wanted to share a quote that really struck me that I read over the weekend in one of my readings. And it said, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. So when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. So tonight we're going to talk about like, how do you naturally and effectively reach out to people? We know in today's changing world that personal connection is more important than ever. People are craving the human connection, the social media, whatever. It's a tool we use, but it's not the way to really connect. You know, if you think about that video, the drive-through guy, right? Like if he had just done that on a text, or, you know, it was an app order, it just wouldn't have the same effect as that connection that he made with each individual as they went through, making them feel special. But what I also know, because it happens to me, and maybe just say me too in the comments, do you ever get voices in your head that think, well, I don't want to be weird. I don't want to be weird. I don't want to make it sound weird. I don't want to make them feel like I'm selling them something. I don't want to make them feel, you know, I don't want this. I don't want that. And what happens is, thank you for making me realize I'm not alone. And that's why we're really doing this call. We got to talk about it, because we do tell ourselves stories and they're not necessarily true, right? It's something that we make up. And honestly, the game changers in my business was when I took my eyes from looking inward at me. What are people thinking of me? What, you know, whatever, to just turning it out and focusing on others and saying, you know what, all I know is I've got this to offer and I'm going to offer it. And when it comes from that kind of space, that's where you begin to touch lives. So we're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about actually wording to say, because I found on some of my calls last week that, you know, just even saying, helping somebody through a conversation like, what would you say to an inactive client? Was really helpful. So we're going to give you some scripts, but just realize as we talk through this, it's going to be the cadence, not the words, right? It's going to be the as Dan Bell says, it's the music, not the lyrics. So we'll talk about that. And then your mindset is so important. And then it's just going to help you. It's going to help your team. So Meg, I know you got a lot to say on this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you shared, like, it doesn't need to be weird. And so this week we heard a story of somebody who just has a perfect example of how to not make this weird. So Robin, will you share with us what happened last week when somebody reached out to you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was really interesting. I think it just kind of speaks to the idea of mindset and the stories we tell ourselves, right? And so a friend of mine from high school, I haven't talked to her in a lot of years, don't need to age myself, but haven't talked to her in a lot of years. She had randomly reached out to me, I don't know, before COVID on LinkedIn. Let's say it was in 2019. Like, hey, I'd love to connect. And then radio silence. And to be honest, like, I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, oh, she just got busy because life is busy or whatever. So she reached out to me, I don't know, last week or the week before, just randomly. And she's like, hey, I am so sorry that I completely dropped the ball. I lost my job. Like it got crazy. I'm so sorry to have done that to you. I'd love to reconnect. And I was like, cool, sure. That sounds great. And so we talked for an hour, and it was really just catching up on life. And it was really awesome. And I think I realized two things. One was that she shared with me that I had been at the top of her list to connect with for 2023. She's like, I had made a list of people that I wanted to connect with in 2023, and you were at the top of my list. And being on the receiving end of that, I was so surprised, and it felt really good, right? To be told that you were at the top of someone's list, and it wasn't even on my radar. So that felt just genuinely so good. And the other thing I think I realized is the stories we tell ourselves. She had been telling herself that I must have thought she was such a such a dingbat or whatever, like for, inconsiderate. And I was like, I want you to know that none of those things ever crossed my mind. I just figured that you got busy and that when it was a good time, you would circle back around. So it was just a really great opportunity to be able to hear someone say, you know what? You were just on my heart and I wanted to connect with you. And there was nothing weird about that. It felt really genuinely good. And then also just the stories that we tell ourselves oftentimes are not always what's really going on.
Robin, that is so good. I mean, we are so often the ones who are reaching out. So it's so helpful to be reminded of what that feels like. It kind of feels like a hug, right? Like everybody wants to be wanted. Let's be honest, right? Probably every single person on this call would want somebody to say, hey, of all the people I want to reconnect with you and reconnect with in 2023, it's you for me. So that is such a good reminder. And, I also love how you notice the stories that she was telling herself. And I know I'm not alone in the stories I tell myself. So if you have somebody right now that's on your heart and you're like, man, I reached out to them and then I chickened out or whatever, we're going to dare you to eat the frog and make it a point to reconnect with them. It's never too late. And I think what is so cool about this story is you notice there was no icky factor. It wasn't that Robin's friend just wanted to reconnect with her so she could sell her some Usborne books or makeup or something like that. No, like she wanted to be social on social media. She wanted to reconnect. So I think it's important, as we are getting into all these actions, that we really think about what it is that we want. We want to be social. We want to reconnect. People are a little leery of everybody out there just, trying to get something from them. And I think a lot like our heart is we want to share. We want to share. We want to connect. We believe that when we're around others, they make us better. And so I think that's really important. And it really brings us to the heart set, right? So we talked about the mindset, but also the heart set matters. And Susan Palace always recommends you put your hand on your heart before you make one of those scary calls and you just remind yourself, okay, I'm just a human being calling another human being who is very likely in pain, right? Who very likely has a whole lot of life going on. And she just asks that she would be able to serve them. So Dee, I know you are so great about your heart set. Would you share more about what that looks like for you? And you're muted, Dee.
It's so important. I love that word heart set. It came last week. I think we were in team time. It came up and it's really the source of where it's coming from, and digging deep into our heart. Like one thing I have realized is exactly what Meg said is people are in pain. They put up walls. They tell us they're fine. Because I got a question. Has anybody ever asked you how you are? And you're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And meanwhile, you're dying inside. Right? You're absolutely dying on the inside. And so the walls are up. The walls are up around people. But when we can listen to people, have our heart in the right place, when we make these calls, don't be attached to the outcome, right? These conversations, don't be attached, right? Whatever you believe in, my belief is, I believe in God, but my belief is if it's the timing for them, it'll click. If it's not, it may happen a little bit down the road. And we're going to have a cool story about that. And a little bit might be a couple of years. So I want you to always be thinking, my big thing is I talk the long game, like be in it to win it with this, guys, like from an impact perspective. If you view this, what you have to offer for impact, that you can make a difference in people's lives, the income is going to come no matter what. But if you think about impact, we're not attached to whether or not somebody is ready ever or when they're ready, because we just know that at some point there will be people that are. So.
Yeah. And Dee, it was such a gift when you taught me that we just are like a flight attendant walking up and down the airplane, asking people, do you want to get healthy? Do you want to get healthy? Like if you tell them you don't want the peanuts, they don't cry and get all upset and say, I'm never going to offer anybody peanuts again. Right? Like they're like, okay, I'll just go to the next row. So I always try to keep that perspective and just keep my heart in check, because we have all these goals, right? We have goals. We're trying to get the client support bonus, but we don't want to lose sight of the people, right? It's another life. It's a heart. It's a person whose life we really want to impact and change. So I think that's really important. Also really important that we talk about a couple of things to know before we head into the strategies. So there are two really important things to know. One, Dee already covered, and that is the scripts that we are going to provide you tonight. And you don't have to write them all down. We're going to give you a document, but the scripts are just general guidance, right? Follow the cadence of what they say. Maybe go into the bathroom and practice in the mirror or practice on Zoom so you can hear yourself. But highly recommend not just reading them word for word, because that feels inauthentic. You have the words, right? Like you're going to take these words and my words, and you're going to make them into your own, which are so much more powerful when they're coming out of your mouth from your heart. So just want to encourage you to resist that urge to hold up that paper and just read it. And for you just to take a big old deep breath and speak from your heart, because that's what the person needs. The other thing we're going to recommend is, no matter what, as you are finding people to talk to, finding people to help, that you listen for cues. Cues are everywhere. And cues can also be a whole lot of fun. And if you know me, you know I'm always on the hunt for something fun, right? So I am all about, I like to turn it into a game almost. And so what I mean by look for the cues, I mean, when you are in a situation and you see somebody and you're like, man, I would love to help them. We don't want to walk up to them and be like, well, gee golly, you sure do look like you could use my program. Let me tell you about it, right? Like, that is not the thing to do. But I was in a situation in a car shop recently, and I knew that the woman that I was talking to, I would love to partner with. I knew I wanted to help her on her health journey. And so we started this conversation, and my goal was, okay, I'm going to look for a cue and my in to get in there. So I started asking her about her family and all the things. She was sharing how her daughter has always been slender. And I said, man, sure would like to know what that's like. I recently lost 44 pounds. There's nothing about me that's naturally slender. And she said, oh gosh, you did? Well, I need to lose weight. Can you share what you did? So again, it's just looking for ways where you can get a little in. And Dee, I know you've got a lot of experience with this as well.
Yeah. And I think the most important thing is not to make the mistake. Have you ever heard the phrase verbally vomit? Like verbally vomit means you are so flippin' excited, you can't keep your mouth shut. And because the fact of the matter, especially if you're fresh in your journey, you're so excited that it's just like, let me tell you about it. You know, like, sit down, you know, I've got things to tell you. And that's not the time. She's listening for the cues. She got the door open. And really what it is at that point is we definitely want to be moving it to a health assessment, something where you're in control. Debbie, I can't stop. But it's a skill that we learned. And the couple of things that will happen, especially after I've been doing this for a while, I might be in the grocery store, and this might happen to you, or you're in some public setting and you're just in and out or something. Somebody's like, hey, you still doing that coaching thing? Or tell me about your program. I think I might need your program. That is not the time right there. And I kind of like that environment, because that's an easy one where I can say, you know what? Oh my gosh, I love my program and what I get to coach. I would love to share with you, but I got things to do. You got things to do. How about I call you like tonight, tomorrow morning? What one's better? And get the appointment. Like, if you're in that scenario, don't go away like, hey, I'll call you. Like, if you can say, hey, let me make sure I've got your number. And then do you want to just peek at your calendar real quick? That one is good. And the other one is party. I call it party talk. So maybe you're at a party, you're at the pool, you're at a barbecue, you're watching the kids' soccer game, and then somebody is sitting there and they ask you. And the reality is you do have time, but it's not the right environment. Right? Because too often they're going to be saying, well, how much does it cost? And how's that food taste? And and we want to be in that position where we're asking the questions so that we can get to the root of what it is that they want, and then be able to share our program as the gift it is in terms of the solution. So I do the same exact thing. I say, you know what, I want to share with you. I love this program, but now's really not the right time. I want to be able to, listen, take some notes, and really be able to share what we have to see if it's a fit. So let's just enjoy the game. And how about I, do the same thing as far as setting up a talk. Just don't get into it. And I love it. At New Year's, this lady cornered me in a party, and I mean, she's like, I got time, tell me. And I was like, but that's not what I want to spend my party doing, so hopefully that's helpful.
Absolutely. And one thing I was going to share is it's really important to not let anybody hold you hostage, right? Like you are the one that's in control. Just because they want to know, just like Dee saw, doesn't mean you have to share right then and there. So that was great to give us language. And I know, Dee, you've also been really, you are so incredible at finding people and seeking them out and talking about the coaching opportunity and also program. Would you give us a little bit of your secret sauce with how you do that so well?
Yeah, I think I'll talk first about the coaching opportunity. And I think it appeals to me only because I found coaching from the coaching opportunity. Somebody offered it to me. And so, and it was a gift. Like I was looking, I didn't know at the moment that they offered it to me that this would be my thing, but I was looking for something. So I was glad they reached out because honestly, at the place of insecurity I never would have reached out and asked like, tell me more about that. So I think I do truly believe this is a gift. And Julie Apple, if you were on the call, maybe put in the chat how many times I probably called you about the coaching opportunity, or how many years did it take us before we finally connected for a yes. Maybe Julie will be kind, but 4 to 5. So basically I met, I had met Julie. She used to work at my husband's firm, and he said, hey, Julie's leaving to become a personal trainer. You should reach out to her. I didn't know Julie from Adam, but he gave me her number, and I called, and the cadence for something like that is, hey, Julie, it's Dee, I'm like, and whatever the connection is. And, I heard you're going into personal training. That's awesome. Like, that's what I love. I love fitness. I love health. I'm just curious. Are you, get a little banter going just a little bit, but my point is get to the point quickly. No bait and switch. No, just making small talk, get to the point. And just, hey, I'm just curious. Are you offering anything in the area of nutrition? At the time, Julie was, she had a plan. And so I was like, okay, well, I personally knew my plan was better, but she needed to figure that out. So it took a while, but Julie never told me not to call her. So I was like, well, good. Well, good luck, whatever. Can I stay in touch with you? And I would just look for opportunities that I could invite Julie to events, invite Julie to webinars, invite to certain things. And when the timing was right, Julie was right. But if I would have taken her first no as, oh, not calling her again, like that was weird. And I don't want to be that, and it was weird. Like it was out of my comfort zone, I would say, but I'm eternally grateful that I did it because it's changed my life, and it's changed Julie's life and her daughter's life and her family's life and many, many clients that she has helped. Meg, let's see, Meg, I think you're better at the reaching out to clients.
Yeah. So, you mean inactive clients?
No, like just how to share about the health program, how to make a call to somebody who might be interested in the health program.
I always love, if you're a brand new coach, use your mentor in your practice calls. That's how my mom got started on this program and lost over 100 pounds, right? So definitely if you're a new coach, use that practice call. If you're a seasoned coach, find people in your world that have influence or people that you just want to help. And I love letting them know, hey, Meredith, you are somebody I really admire. You have a great influence, and a lot of people I don't know. Do you know anybody who in your world who could benefit from losing weight, or who has talked to you about losing weight? And just be quiet and see what she would say, and see if you can get her to either say, me, I can benefit, or if not, see who she knows, who she can partner with. People love to be helpful, and they love to be told in ways in which they have success, right? In ways in which they do things well. Indeed, we have a story of somebody on our team who did this, right?
Yeah, we've actually got 2 stories that I want to make sure we squeeze in. So Bonnie Bonnie Goldrosen shared a great story with me about she was making calls to people in her contact list, her phone, and inactives. And I'm going to let Bonnie take it away because it's a great story.
Yeah. So I have a girlfriend that I've known for 38 years. And so she's in Ohio. She's not in Iowa now. And so every once in a while, I just reach out to her. How you doing? How's your mom doing? And so forth. So I was calling. I made a commitment that I was going to call 3 people every day. And so I called the phone number that I had for her on my cell phone, and it was actually her daughter's phone. And I've known her daughter since her daughter was 10. And bottom line is we did sort of an overview call, and then we had a health assessment today to go through a jot form that I sent her. And I have a new client, and yay. And she's a social worker at a regional hospital. She knows a lot of people, and very, you talk about heart to heart. This lady really needs some support, and she has a lot of weight to lose, and she trusts, and she's in. And she's going to come tonight to the community call.
Fantastic. Way to set her up for success, Bonnie. That is great. Did you hear what she did? That's a great idea with a new client, you guys, is while they're waiting for their program and everything, have them hop on the community call if it fits in the timing, but go ahead and get them on because they're pumped and they are excited. So they get to plug right into the community. So that is very awesome. And we've got some wording in our document about reaching out to inactive clients. We've got this, the client support bonus, anybody who's 180-day qualifies. Was talking with Beth this week in one of her mentor calls about kind of what to say to reach out to an inactive client. And my advice is to, again, we want to be direct, but I would just call and say, hey, hey, Meredith, it's been a while since we've connected, since we partnered together. Just really want to call to see how you are, what's new in your world. Hopefully you get them, right? And if they answer, just affirm that, talk to them. And then what I would say is, what I do know is I'm hearing from a lot of people that the time is now. They're ready to make some changes in their health. I just want to let you know I'm here. My door is open. So if you want to have a conversation now or at some point, I just want you to know I'm here for you. And just really putting it that's not are you ready yet? Are you ready to make changes? Because we don't want people to not take our calls, especially again in the future, if they think you're just asking if they're ready. So hopefully that's helpful. That exact wording is out there. So we'll have that. And I know we're also doing some great client support in other ways. So Meg, I know you've got another story for us.
Absolutely. So I was talking to Bethany Smith, and one of the things in our transactional leadership we're working on is contacting the clients whose orders are below 175, right? To let them know, hey, you're missing out on your shipping benefits and your rewards. And so I was talking to Bethany, and she was like, oh, I'm a little nervous about calling this person because what if they just go away? What if they just decide, well, whatever, I just won't order. So Bethany, would you share, I know you had a little trepidation about it, but you did it. Would you share what happened?
Yeah. So basically, I had a client who went through the program a couple years ago, and she's just placed, kind of like $50 to $60 orders every few months. And so I honestly thought when I reached out to her that it would just be a, premier cancellation after that, might as well just totally cancel it. But I just reached out to her and told her that, hey, if you get to 175, then, this is the benefits. And if you get to 300, this is even more benefits. And she came back and said, actually, I've been meaning to talk to you because I want to get back fully on plan. I've just been using the fuelings kind of for snacks and breakfast, but now I really want to go all in. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. But I was totally not expecting that. And it just goes to show, listen to your mentors because they really do know what they're talking about. So, and just go for it.
But what great client support. That's awesome, right? You were helping her really to save money, make whatever. And really what that did was crack the door because she just hadn't called you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, two quick things, because we want you to be over to get over to the client call, which is at 8. So we're excited about that. Well, we know the one thing they always say, right? Information is one thing, right? But application is where the rubber hits the road, right? That's where the magic happens. So we talked about kind of letting go who we are and who we, to become who we want to be. So Meg, want to take that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to challenge you as we are leaving to apply what we have done. And I posted in the sample scripts that we're just going to use as a cadence, right? But it's information on how to talk to doctors, inactive clients, everything we talked about tonight, plus more. So really good information in there. So here's what we want to recommend to you, okay? Pick at least one inactive client a day. And go and reconnect with them. one a day. We've got 3 months to maximize this incredible incentive that's going on. The second action we want to recommend is that you make a list of people that you want to partner with, either as a client or as a coach, people who are on your heart, and reach out to one of those people per week. So eat that frog. If you feel that fear, know that you're absolutely alive, right? And it's totally normal to feel the fear. But I love Mel Robbins. She says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and she just does it. So we just recommend that you just get into action. You just do it, and you're going to feel so great.
And make a great impact. That's the biggest thing. And the last thing, you know, so we streamline the calls to save time, right? So our goal is to optimize. You guys have Tuesday night free now, right? To utilize how you want. It's staying lighter out later. So really, I don't know, hopefully I felt better even just starting this meeting when it was light out. So that is great. But I want to remind you, we've got time for you back on the calendar, and it's Thursdays from 12:30 to 1. And this is evolving, but this is a small group environment, and we're going to evolve it to more of a workshop style. Drop in when you can. Don't think that it's something you have to attend, but it's a great way. It's interactive. So it's unmuted. We can interact. And the theme this week is going to be on social media videos and creating reels. And Jessica Pope is going to be there. She's our Q&A person for that, and leading some conversation for us. So bring your questions, bring your energy, and be on that call. We will record it if you cannot be on. All right. Well, thanks so much. Hopefully you guys got as much out of this as we had hoped. We're going to head on over to the client call. Anything else, Meg, to say?
Nope. See y'all over there. Check the calendar for the link. It will stay the same every week.
Yes, it will. All right. Bye, guys.
Is that going to be recorded on Thursday?
Yes.